Good evening, my generals, commanders, and admirals. Welcome back to another Total War Wednesday, and welcome back to the American Experience, where I, General Smuggler, lead the American forces in victory. Well, we're finally doing Chapter 4, or say Episode 4, the United States, a New Nation. The United States of America is a nation forged in the fires of revolution and rebellion against a British monarch seen as distant, foreign, and tyrannical. After the French and Indian Wars, the British government took an entirely unreasonable line. The American colonists should pay taxes to contribute to the Navy and Army to help defend them. After all, these colonial fellows enjoyed the benefits of peace, protected by Britain's expensive soldiers and sailors. The colonists had other views. The British responded with political stupidity and military ineptitude. Hated once, they have rebelled by the French Bourbons, who, for reasons of their own, had every wish to see Britain preoccupied with war and then humiliated by seditionist rebels. The Americans faced down Britain. The struggle split counties, cities, towns, even families, but it united the nation. In its wake, the revolution left a new kind of nation, a republic where men chose their own destinies and are not subject to the whims of kings. This spirit of independence is a source of strength. It is an idea worth defending. It is also a source of weakness. For Americans, cherish the right to do as they think best. This is not necessarily a good thing in an army. America now has a future of boundless possibilities. A continent searches away to the west, and no one is entirely sure what is to be found there. The Atlantic swell washes against the eastern seaboard and beckons American seamen onwards. Trade and adventure lies that way too. There are still scores to be settled with the British and Canada, or ambitious nations from Europe to discourage. There is much to do if this newest of boldest of nations is to survive and prosper. So let's begin Episode 4, the United States, and see what our newly founded nation does on the world stage.
Your first priority should be to gain recognition of your new nation amongst the major powers in Europe through diplomacy. Then build up your fledgling navy in order to prevent the Barbary states from raiding your coastlines for slaves, and the British and Dutch from monopolizing your trade routes. Attack foreign shipping and patrol your own trade routes as much as possible to keep them open. Acquire as much of the American continent as possible in order to secure your borders from attack, beginning with those native tribes who remained loyal to the British during the Revolutionary War. In order to avoid an early land war with stronger powers, it may also be necessary to purchase land from the French and Spanish through diplomacy.
And my dear generals, it being Wednesday in the work week, we'll be doing 5 turns tonight for this opening of the campaign. So, let us begin. And first and foremost, in all of our campaigns, we're going to start off building up our resources, aka our coin. So let's build up our farms here. We'll build up our farm here in Cape Cod. We'll build some tentative farms here in Springfield. Some peasant farms here in Hapog. We'll construct a craft workshop here in Hartford. Here in Scranton, we'll construct some peasant farms. Here in Greenville, we'll construct some clearances as well. Woodstock, we'll construct some clearances. Here's a chapter school. There in Raleigh. And here in Marion, we'll construct some clearances. That looks like all we can do for the moment on resource-wise.
Ready for order.
But we'll move Anthony Wayne here to Falmouth.
Forward! March! Sir.
We'll move Nathaniel Green to Philadelphia.
Troops! Forward!
How can I be of service?
Move our gentleman Benjamin Franklin to New Haven.
Your eyes and ears. Aha! A place of learning and culture.
And we'll research, reform naval administration.
Make ready!
We'll move John Barry to port here in New York.
Yes, Captain. Still shipshape. Sir.
And we'll move our General John Sullivan down to Savannah, Georgia.
By the left. March! How may I serve?
And we shall grab our missionary here, Cornelius, and move him westwards to Chickasaw, Cherokee territory.
With all speed. Can I be of further service?
Before we end our turn, we have an event here. Waterford Crystal. Brothers George and William Penrose have embarked upon a new enterprise in the city of Waterford, Ireland. The factory produces plain and cut flint glass, useful for and ornamental, swiftly establishing itself as the world's foremost manufacturer of fine crystal. The easy access to Waterford's busy port, and thereby the world's oceans, the business is ideally placed to serve a growing global demand for its products, a demand fueled by the growing prosperity which comes with the expansion of trade. Before we end our turn, we're going to get into the diplomatic relations. We're going to try our luck with Austria first. Request a trade agreement with Austria. And we'll send a proposal. Unfortunately, Joseph I does not agree. Let's try our luck with the Martha Confederacy. And the Martha Confederacy has agreed to trade. So we'll be trading with India. To the minor nations. Pretty much everybody's untradeable at the moment. Besides the Iroquois, but they're unfriendly towards us. We're gonna try a trade agreement regardless. But they wish to bargain. Agree to the trade agreement, but they request 340 coin. 340 seems like a small number, so we'll go ahead and agree with that. And they have agreed. Let's just hope our relations can improve a little bit. With that, we shall end our turn. And we have an alliance broken between Great Britain and Austria. We have a construction report. We have peasant farms out of Hauppauge Farmland, New York, and peasant farms out of Scranton Farmland, Pennsylvania. A war has been declared between Spain and Great Britain. War has also been declared between Poland, Lithuania, and Russia. War has also been declared between Poland, Lithuania, and Austria. And lastly, war has also been declared between Poland, Lithuania, and Prussia. Well, we'll start off here in the west with Cornelius, our missionary. And we shall move him into Chickasaw, Cherokee territory.
Without further delay.
Here in Savannah, is Swainsboro, and raise a large cotton plantation.
Your orders?
Ah, I forgot about Samuel Mason here, I spy. We shall move him here.
Stealth is my cloak. Anything
And his
else?
mission will be Niagara Algonquin territory. Here in French Creek, we're going to go ahead and construct a steam pumped iron mine. And we got some tenant farms here in Scranton. Raise some tentative farms here in Hapog. And we shall end our turn on that point. And to start off this turn, we have an ancillary gain for Francis Bellamy, or Bellamy. +1 happiness, nobility. And we have a construction report. We have tentative farms out of Springland Farmland, Confederation of New England. We have tenant farms out of Cape Cod Farmland, Confederation of New England as well. We have craft workshops, Weavers, Hartford, Confederation of New England. Clearances out of Woodstock Farmland, Virginia. Clearances out of Greenville Farmland, Carolinas. Clearances out of Marion Farmland, Carolinas as well. And a chapter school out of Raleigh, Carolina. And we have an event, a Dark Star. In a letter published by the Royal Society genealogist of and natural philosopher John Mitchell, has suggested the existence of a stellar phenomenon possessing the most extraordinary of properties. An object of such concentrated mass that even light itself would not be unable to escape its gravitational field, thus might be termed a dark star, or even a black hole. Since light is trapped within them, these dark stars are effectively invisible, but Mitchell suggests that observing the motion of nearby stars affected by them would provide clues to their location. Sadly, no instruments capable of measuring all this yet exist due to technical restraints, but Mitchell hopes his ideas might eventually be tested through experiments in future years. The idea of black holes was relevant in the 1700s. Interesting. Did not know that. Hope you, dear viewers, found that interesting as well. With this turn, we're going to continue building up our resources. So in Springfield, we build some clearances. Bury a moose trap. We're going to construct a fur market. Some clearance series in Cape Cod. We'll do a steam pump iron mine and caribou mines. And we'll hold off for the minute. We don't want to go too negative, do we? So we'll end our turn. And we have a construction report. We have Tenant Farms out of Hauppauge, Farmland, New York, and Tenant Farms out of Scranton, Farmland, Pennsylvania. Right here in Charlotte, we're going to construct a Weaver's Cottage. Raleigh, College of Divinity, will construct. We'll raise a large tobacco plantation here in Clover Plantations, Virginia. Here in Scranton, we'll go ahead and construct some clearances. Here in Hauppauge, we'll go ahead and construct some clearances as well. We'll end their turn. And to start off this turn, war has been declared between Austria and Spain. And we have a construction report. We have clearances out of Springfield Farmland, Confederation of New England. Clearances out of Cape Cod Farmland, Confederation of New England. A large cotton plantation out of Swinesboro Plantations, Georgia. And a steam pump iron mine out of French Creek Mines, Pennsylvania. And we've had an event, the Necklace Affair. Rumors are sweeping the French court in the wake of scandalous revelations. A priceless diamond necklace intended as a gift for the old king's favorite courtesan prior to his death has been stolen in an affair which casts all individual involved in an unflattering light. It would seem that a relatively minor noblewoman, the Countess de Lamont, tricked Cardinal Rohan into parting with funds belonging to the Queen, and persuaded the jewelers Borman and Passage to part with the necklace in the belief that it was intended for the Queen, whose payment would follow. The Countess subsequently fled with the necklace and is believed to have broken it up for sale before she was arrested along with Rowan and others. After the marks makers asked the Queen for payment at their substantial trial, all were acquitted barring the Countess, who was sentenced to be whipped, branded, and locked up in prostitute's gaol. In the end, she was spared the physical punishment, but was ruined in French society, eventually fleeing to England. However, questions continue to be asked about the Queen's level of involvement in this case, and she was known political enemy of the Cardinal, Rowan, and was visibly dismayed at his acquittal. Could it be that she played along with the fraud in order to ruin Rowan? Regardless of the truth, such an unsavory case can only serve to underline the carnivorous gulf between the lives of ordinary French people and those of their rulers. I know I probably slaughtered all that, but that's okay. I never claimed to be a perfect reader anyways. With our fifth and final turn here tonight, I think we'll come down here to Yorktown. And we'll raise a fourth-rate ship of the line. We'll raise 2. Now Philadelphia. We're going to recruit some line infantry. And we'll end our turn. We'll end our turn off here on 5, so we get ready for 6 for next week, or the following. Something I've not done before. And with that, my dear commanders, we'll leave it on this note for now, with Turning 6 starting off. And I'll read off the events that happened the following week. Well, as always in our campaigns here in Total War, your first goal, gentlemen, is to raise your resources before you start raising an army, because without funds you cannot raise an army or a navy. So it's best, gentlemen, that you raise your funds first, and that would be in the form of your infrastructure for your chosen country of choice. But also, if you can swing it, while raising your infrastructure, raise an army, because you know the enemies don't sleep. But with that, gentlemen, we're gonna end it here, and hopefully we'll raise an army large enough to push westwards here, and our first targets will be the Cherokee nations and our expansion westwards. Then we'll shift north toward the Iroquois, because I know eventually we'll have to declare war on the British eventually and start the fight again. I thought this was pirate territory down here. I was going to say we're going to raise a navy and take over the pirates, but the British already took it. Well, that concludes it for this week. I will see you again, gentlemen, next week. But for next week will be the British campaign, the British experience. Then the following week, we'll jump to the American experience once again. I will see you guys next time. Keep your uniforms clean, your bayonets sharp, your muskets in good order, and I will see you guys next time.